Hi, everyone. This is Max Gullickson, and this is Southbridge Community Television brought to you from our studio here at 41 Elm Street in Southbridge. Thanks for watching. Today I have with me Mary Darling. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Max.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Mary's here because Mary, among her other skills, Mary is a playwright, which is such an interesting thing. You live in Southbridge, right?
I do.
You grew up in Southbridge?
No, I grew up in Worcester.
Did you? And how long have you been in Southbridge?
About 2 years.
Well, it's not every day, Mary, that we get a playwright settling in our town. A playwright, to my mind, is somebody that writes a play. It's 60 to 90 minutes long, and you go see a production. But there are a lot of different definitions and genres of plays. Now, you write shorter plays, traditional plays. How long have you been doing this?
I guess I started writing plays in college, so probably around 10 years, give or take.
Yeah. What was your first play? Do you remember?
Yeah, my first play was a 10-minute play, and it was called Cynical Folk, and I wrote it with a friend of mine. It was kind of like mocking other people, like a satire.
Like a satire.
Yeah, it was satirical.
Did you write it for a class at college?
I did.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Fitchburg State.
And you were. What was your major up there?
I had a double major, so I majored in professional communications, and then I majored in theater too.
Oh, cool. So right up your alley. You're involved with the local Gateway group a little bit.
Yep, I am. I help out with the marketing stuff.
Have you ever written a play for them?
Not yet, no.
But maybe it's on the
someday.
burner for another time. And how many plays, in your 10 years you've been doing, how many do you think you've written?
A good amount. I write a lot of 10-minute plays, and I have a couple, like 4 full-length plays, and I've been working on 2 recently in the last year even, and then I do this 1-minute play challenge where I write a 1-minute play every day.
I read a few. They're cute. They're like little vignettes almost.
Yeah.
So you said 10-minute play. Now, I mean, is that like? I mean, for if you had a book and it was you have a short story and you have a full novel, is that kind of it? Is a short story in a 10-minute play?
Yeah, you could call it that, and I think
You've got a conflict.
Yep,
you've got
it
a
all.
beginning and an end.
Yeah, you do, and I think what's cool about them is they're short, and some people like myself, like I don't have a long attention span. I love theater. Sometimes I like to see a bunch, 10 short ones.
Sure.
Like, so I think it gets all of that, and sometimes you'll find like they're really dramatic or they're really funny, and they're really like touching and to the point, and I like that.
Yeah, and probably pretty common, universal human themes that everybody can relate to anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like you're kind of fitting the world's turned into a fast place, Mary. I mean, not everybody has an attention span for a 90-minute show. Is there a lot of this 10-minute?
Oh, it's huge, yeah.
Is it? It's a new thing? Because, I mean, I'm older than you, and I don't ever recall...
I think it's huger on like the theater scene kind of, but you're seeing even now. So like when I got into them, it was huge, and it's big in Louisville. They have an actors theater there. They publish these 10-minute play anthologies, and they're a really good place for new work development with those. So
Louisville, you said?
Yeah, which is random.
Wow.
But I found like their books in my library, and I was like, these are great. These 10-minute plays are great.
Wow.
And but now what you're seeing is like a lot of little theaters are doing 10-minute play festivals, and it's huge. And it gets like, I like it because it gets local people involved. Like they're usually calling for local work or work, semi-local, and so it gets playwrights involved, it gets other actors, and it brings in different people, and I think that's the allure to it too.
You probably get more people an opportunity to participate.
Yeah, you do to some extent too with stuff like that, which is cool. And I think there's kind of a call for non-traditional stuff too. Like I had done a series of plays that took place in cars once, and it was just so different to people too, and they watched from the back seat and people were in the front seat.
Yeah.
Those were 10-minute plays. They just had a different setting, and that's starting to get really big too, like site-specific.
Oh, neat. People like the traditional play has been kind of morphed into these new ways of expressing art. Now, recently, a couple weeks ago, you had a show at the local library, our library, which is just famous for putting on shows, and it was a play, and it was a children's play, and the theme was to help kids learn about the solar system. So it was almost like a play for kids, but it was also a teaching moment. But it was neat because you had interactive, you had kids volunteering right there at the library, and even prior to the play, you had them making their costumes with crafts. So describe that a little bit. And that was intended when you did that.
Yep, and it was really cool. We had paired with the library, and she had a theme for what they were doing and just wanted to be able to do a reader's theater. And basically, we wanted to give the kids a chance to see what theater is. So I wrote a script about solar system, and so it was educational, but then it also helped with reading skills. Like they get a chance to read it out loud. They get a chance to learn what stage directions are and all of that kind of stuff. And then they get to make the costumes. So it's like doing a super fast production, quick, but it's like going from reading to rehearsal to a show. And so they had the scripts in hand when they did the show, but it was really cool because they got a chance to say all those words out loud again and to feel what it's like to have an audience and to move around.
Practice before.
Yeah, and I think it was really, really cool for both ends. I think the kids had a really great time, and I think I like working with children and theater, particularly because I think it gives kids a really great chance to express themselves in a way that they might not have. And I think it's like really important. Like I grew up with theater and it was such a great outlet for me, but it just added so much to my life. So
yeah,
I like to give kids
learning
that chance.
something. Not only do they get the chance to emote,
right?
But they, like you said, they're learning a little bit of the ins and the outs and the preparation for it. Well, it was good, and I was there, and all the kids seemed to have a good time. Now, as a playwright, is there anything else that you're doing right now, upcoming, that you're excited about that you'd like to share?
Yes, I have a full-length play called On Our Terms coming up. It runs 2 weekends in September. It's with the Forge Theater Lab in Fitchburg, and it's about these two people who sit down. They've gone through an agency to get the perfect contract terms for a relationship. And
between each other?
Between each other, yep.
Okay.
So they're writing out the terms as they go. They have a baseline contract, and it's to eliminate anything. So they write out when they're going to schedule time together, schedule time with their friends, chores, all this other stuff. And throughout it, though, they go into these flashback scenes of failed relationships they've had. And they're funny, they're serious, they're absurd, and then they'll kind of reassess and write up more terms. So it's very business end, but it's funny. Very funny.
Business end of love.
Yes.
And it's a comedy.
Yes.
When you say full, how long is it?
It should be about probably a little under 90 minutes. Yeah, maybe 60 to 90. It was still. It's a newer work of mine, so I'm still. The cool thing about places that'll do new work is you can redevelop it and keep going with it. So right now, I just rewrote some of it, and then we'll have a reading, and then I'll probably rewrite some more.
But September's coming fast.
It is.
Yeah.
So
at some point, you're going to be done.
Oh yeah, I hope to be done soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. And where's it at in Fitchburg? You say?
It'll be at the college, and I believe it's at McKay Theater there, and that's 2 weekends of September, the weekend of the 6th and the weekend of the 13th.
It's neat that you apparently have been able to maintain your old contacts there, and now you have a showing there.
Yeah, it is.
Must be neat to go home and bring your wares with you. Well, good luck with that, Mary. And maybe, who knows, maybe one day Gateway might adopt it for one of their wonderful shows that they always have.
They do great shows. I have a really good time working on them and seeing them.
Yeah, we talk to them a lot here.
Yeah.
And they're fun. There's a fun group. Mary, thanks for coming on. It was fun to see. The kids all seem to have a good time, and hopefully we'll see some more of your short plays over there at the library. And who knows, one day we may be reading your name on the credits of some great, fantastic Hollywood production.
Who knows?
Yeah. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, everybody, for watching Southbridge Community Television here in our studio at 41 Elm Street, and we will see you again soon. Thank you. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Yeah.